Oh hey, I'm newblinky, and welcome back to my Minecraft survival world. Last time I worked on this mystical looking spire to house my perfect starter enchantment setup, and while doing so I realised that I have a major issue with iron. So in this episode, what more can I do but set up the perfect iron farm for my survival world? Well, welcome back, where I am now already on episode 3. And today I want to work on an iron farm somewhere between the starter base and the enchanting spire. But of course, first I've got to go over my goals for today's episode. Goal 1 is going to be going to a nearby village and getting some villagers, which fortunately for me, that task is a lot easier these days because you can put villagers in a boat and then lead them. And to finish off goal 1, I'm going to take those 2 villagers and set up a villager breeder. Probably not going to be anything too fancy though. I reckon it'll just be a pit with a bunch of beds in it. Goal 2 is going to be setting up a couple of villagers in the enchanting spire and getting an unbreaking and a mending trade. Which, to wrap up goal 2, the final part to that is going to be getting unbreaking and mending on my armor and tools. And finally, goal 3 is going to be setting up an iron farm that can fulfill all my needs of iron. So I may as well get straight into it and go and get some villagers from that village we found on episode 1. Fortunately for me, this village wasn't too far from my base. And really, this task is not going to be that difficult. I mean, these guys have already got themselves trapped for me, so I'm pretty sure the nitwits can still breed. I'm kind of counting on the fact that I'm right in saying that. While I'm here in the village, I'm going to have a quick look around to see if I can find a white cat, because I've got Choco Cat back at the base, but I don't have a Suki yet. For those of you that are new here, Suki is one of my cats in real life, and she of course is white. Well, I wanted to find a white cat so badly that I decided to stay here for the night, and the boat that had the villagers in it is now empty. Rotten flesh is the only thing left of them. So I'll have to collect another 2 villagers, but unfortunately I could not find a white cat. With the boat full of villagers now in tow, I made the tiresome trek to take these 2 back to my base. Now that I've got you lot back at the base, I guess I shall figure out where I'm going to dig a hole for the 2 of you to live for the time being at least. I don't know how long for, sorry. Something fancy for my villager breeder? Definitely not. I mean, these 2 get a pit and they will be kept safe. And I'm giving myself sort of the bare minimum to be able to pull them out in a boat, but that's all they're getting. And hopefully this setup actually works the way that I'm expecting that it will. Regardless of whether or not that boat mechanism is going to work, I need to shear some sheep to be able to make some beds so that the actual villager breeder thing works. And part of that is going to be giving them enough food as well. Craft up some beds for them and give them enough bread to hopefully breed a few times. Well, that was quick. Simple as that. Wait for that a few times and then I can take a couple of them up to the spire where they will spend the rest of their days. And while I was waiting for that to happen, I decided that I had had enough of jumping up and down the side of this mountain, which meant that a pretty basic looking staircase was carved into the side of the hill. Well, a massive thanks to everyone in the comments section of episode 2 who reminded me to do this, and also a thank you for the suggestion to make an elevator instead. But we obviously have a few villagers bred up in here because there's already a golem. Yeah, more than a few villagers. So I would consider that goal 1 complete. Which means it's time to pick a couple of lucky contestants to come and live the rest of their lives up in the spire. Yeah, no nitwits allowed, sorry. Okay, you 2, let's go. These fellas are always so annoying to deal with. And so now I've got the 2 of you in here. I'll just quickly lock you in. Make sure you can't go down into the basement either. And which of you 2 would like to be on the lower part of this tower? Okay, that was easy. Alright, so of course it looks ugly right now, but I've got to get this silly fella trapped in here. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Okay, now I've got it trapped. And I'm going to need to go and trade with a different villager to get some emeralds before I decide to lock either of these two into a trade. So before I keep going, I'll get this villager up into this little hole. And I'm hoping this guy is going to be easier to get trapped. Awesome. Now that those two villagers are in place, the easiest way that I'm going to be able to get emeralds at the moment is by trading paper with a librarian. So good thing I have heaps of sugarcane around here. So which one of you wants to give me some emeralds? Okay, fine, sir. What a deal indeed. So now that I have 8 emeralds, I will re-roll this villager. I will re-roll this villager until I get a bookshelf trade and a mending trade. Although I thought this was 4 emeralds for a bookshelf, so I don't have enough. Thank you for your patience, sir. I am back and I'm ready to get mending or unbreaking 3, regardless of how long it takes. Oh my god. Mending! Okay, lock that in. Lock it in. Bruh. Oh, I got it! Okay, regain my composure. 36 emerald trade for mending. Not amazing, but I can get mending now. Which means I've just got to do that again to get unbreaking 3. Okay boss, let's do this. 1 eternity later. Oh my god. Unbreaking 3. Oh bruh, I've literally been doing this for over an hour. I've been looking at this screen for so long that I can smell colours. The prices are a bit inflated because I accidentally hit him, but 17 emeralds for unbreaking 3 is actually pretty cheap. Okay. So now I can wait till nighttime and then zombify these two and return them back to normal. Get some cheaper prices. I'll probably repeat that maybe at least twice. And then I'll get unbreaking and mending to put on all of my tools and armor. I swear I was literally re-rolling for like an hour last night. I got unbreaking 1 and unbreaking 2 probably 10 times combined. I reckon I probably got like 10 mending trades. I was literally going crazy. Hop on this morning, 5 minutes, and unbreaking 3 finally appears. My goodness. So I can lead some of these zombies up the stairs and let them have at these villagers. Look, I know this ain't the most efficient way of doing it. I could put them next to each other and just use 1 splash potion, but I also don't want to have to get them back into their cages. So this is just easier. So after letting them cure for a little bit, I then went back and did it again. For anyone wondering why I just cured them twice, I didn't realize that curing multiple times to get more discount was a bug. And it's been patched out for a little while now. Would have been good to know that beforehand because I was aiming to get a 1 emerald bookshelf trade, which then meant that I could buy 3 books from the villager and then sell 3 books back to the villager at level 2 for 1 emerald each, making passive emeralds, but it doesn't work like that anymore, which is really annoying to say the least. So I think I'm going to have to get emeralds the old-fashioned way by making books with the sugarcane and leather that I have back at the base. My first struggle is going to be that at the moment the only real way I have of getting emeralds is by selling books to this guy and also selling paper. So I mean, that's fine, but I need to get enough emeralds to level up one of the villagers up in the spire so that instead of selling 4 books for 1 emerald, I can just sell 1 book for 1 emerald because of the discounted prices. If I'm remembering right, I'm pretty sure it was 1 emerald for an unbreaking book. Yep, 1 emerald. And that's leveled it up quicker than what buying bookshelves would. So I'm just going to have to go and repeat this process a few times. And so now that this guy is leveled up, I've got enough emeralds here to actually make a profit. He's given me a discount. Cool. So this won't work all the time, only when I've got discounted trades, but 2 emeralds for 1 bookshelf, and then I can basically sell the bookshelf back to him for 3 emeralds. Works out pretty well in my favor. So while I wait around for that villager to restock, I can start to put unbreaking on my tools. Although I'm just realizing I should probably enchant these pieces of armor first. I can put unbreaking on the pick at least. Last prot 4 on the boots looks alright. Depth strider, and I've already got unbreaking 3 on that, so that's a bonus. And so then after spending some time at the XP farm, I was able to go back and actually enchant all of my gear. And in between all that, I sat and AFK'd to continue trading back and forth with the villagers to try and get more mending books. Which leads us here with a pitiful amount of mending books. Yep, few hours of AFKing and trading to only get 3 mending books. And well, of course, the issue I have is that I really don't have any way to get emeralds at the moment. So my thoughts are that I will use the mending books on a few of my tools. And then for the first time this series, I'm going to have to put a goal on hold and move on to the next one. So goal 2 is not really complete yet. The reason I'm putting it on hold is because as soon as I get my iron farm, I can sell iron back to villagers to get heaps of emeralds for basically nothing. So moving on to goal 3, the first thing that I want to do is build something nice, put this iron farm inside of so it's not just an eyesore out in the open. And of course I'm going to use a bunch of stone to build this thing. I think I should have just about everything I want to build with, except for tough. So I'll just head down into the cave and get a few pieces of that so that I can get started on this build. So what I've drawn up for this and what I'm hoping will look cool is like a large iron golem head, sort of pixel art style, sitting on top of some crumbling rocks. And I'll make the iron golem head look like it's sort of ruined on the top almost. Yeah, it's pretty much just going to look like this guy sitting on top of some rocks. And then I will house the farm inside of that. And I would like to put it somewhere between the starter house and the enchanting tower. So the length and the width of this actual iron golem head is going to be 8 by 8 blocks. If I start with that as a base and then try and figure out how I want to make the rocky exterior from there, probably a good plan of attack. And honestly, 8 by 8 is bigger than I thought it was going to be, but that's fine. I can work with this pretty easily. I'm using an iron farm tutorial by a very handsome looking content creator by the name of newblinky. Video card in the top right of your screen, and the link is also in the description. We need to have the bottom of the farm at least 7 blocks above the surface below. So this will be a good starting point to understand how high I need to make the boulders at the bottom of this thing. And it's also making me realize I'm going to have to tear this tree down. So judging by the height of this thing that I'm building, I think the iron golem head actually needs to start at about the same height as the platform up there, which isn't too bad. I should probably work backwards from that, to be honest. And what I mean by that is I should probably start with the iron golem head. And my intention is that this thing is going to be grayscale, but it's going to be lighter tones. So I'm going to go with calcite, diorite, and stone. And in all honesty, it is nice to have a build that I don't have to think too much about for a change. I'm glad I've stopped to have a look at this because I really think I need to swap the calcite and the diorite locations, because the top of the head is meant to be a lighter color than the face. Also thinking I might change the eyes as well. I might put some holes where the red is meant to be, and then I'll fill in these 3 bits with tough. So now I'll have a look at it. Interesting. I've tried to spawn proof the top, but now the head doesn't really look long enough, and the nose doesn't have enough variance in color. To be honest, that's just like really flat. So I think I'm going to go back and raise this thing up by 1 and bring the slabs and stairs up with it. And I might sprinkle in maybe some cobblestone into the nose and make it look a bit more crumbly as well, because, you know, I've put some holes in the side and the back, but there's no real sign of ruin in the front. So make that a bit more crumbly with some cobblestone slabs. Oop. And some cobblestone stairs. And yeah, that looks a lot more ruined. and the head looks tall enough now as well. So now to go through with some boulders. I've just had to stop to get some more supplies, but this thing is actually looking pretty cool from up at the starter base. I wasn't too convinced down at ground level, but from this vantage point, I definitely think it looks cool. And so now for the fun part of going back around, actually texturing this thing properly and spawn proofing the whole thing. Yeah, this might take a little while. And well, stage 1 of this build is now completed, which means I can get into the technical side. Not really actually that technical, but yeah, the technical side of building this iron farm. Okay, so I'm kind of interested to see how much of this thing I can remember off by heart without watching my tutorial. I know that I need to put trapdoors on either side here, and this is where the zombie goes when I eventually get it in. And then I also need to put walls around this thing, leaving a gap here for one of the villager beds. Although I just checked the tutorial and yeah, I did need to put these trapdoors here as well. Then the roof essentially goes over this thing, and that's the spawning platform for the iron golems, but I need to get 3 villagers in here. So 1 bed facing that way, then 2 facing this way, a row of slabs on the top half of this block, and a trapdoor here, which this thing is now ready for me to put the villagers in on this side and drop a zombie in on the other side. 2 already in a boat. These 2 were apparently just dying to get put in this iron golem farm. Take them in through the top, and now to go and get the 3rd villager. And well, that was actually pretty good timing, because now I should be able to fairly easily get a zombie into a boat and then get it up into this farm as well. Alright, literally only need 1 zombie in a boat, and hopefully I don't get shot down while I'm trying to pillar up. And now I am definitely running out of time to get one of these 2 in there before the sun rises. Far out. That was a bit of a fiasco. And that confirms that the farm is working as well. Okay, that could have gone a lot smoother, and I mean, you can tell I kind of run out of blocks there too, building with chests. Also can't forget one of the most important steps, name tagging a zombie. Subscribe. I am a YouTuber after all, I don't know what you expected from me. And so now to finish this thing off, we obviously need a way to collect all the iron that comes out of this thing. So then from here I can put some walls around the outside, make a quick infinite water source to make this step a little bit easier. So yeah, water in 4 corners to push the golem into the center, place a couple of walls in the middle, and then a fence gate on 4 sides from the middle, although this guy is stopping me from doing that. As I was saying, fence gate on 4 sides from the middle, lava bucket in the middle, and open up those 4 fence gates. So now the golems are dragged into the middle and killed by the lava. Pretty self-explanatory there. Works just like that. Pretty simple. And the only thing I'm really missing at the moment is a way to get up there. So I'll chuck in some ladders real quick. And the outcome? Stonks. It's probably going to be pretty necessary to set up a pearl stasis chamber here at some point so that this thing works all the time. But otherwise, there is no way that you couldn't say goal 3 is absolutely completed. Which now leads us to completing goal 2 and doing a couple of tidy up items, like the first one being naming Choco Cat, because I kind of forgot that you could craft name tags now, and then replacing those fence gates that I put in earlier with the signs that I say to use in the tutorial. I thought I was outsmarting myself, but fence gates set on fire from the lava. Yeah, if you're going to make this iron farm, make sure you follow the tutorial, not what I just did. Good thing I noticed that, because otherwise I could have literally been sitting AFK here for God knows how long and wasted all that time because iron golems weren't spawning. And so now I can take some of my profits and go and trade with some villagers. Set a couple of these guys up as toolsmiths. I'm going to have to level them up to get the iron trade, but I can just buy a bunch of stone tools from them. Just got to get a few emeralds from the librarian first. And now I can get a heap of emeralds by just giving this guy a few iron ingots. And I can level up the second one to do the same over here. This is what I meant by stonks. And I think 50 emeralds should be enough for me to go and get enough mending books to put mending on my armor. Yeah, I'm not quite going to have enough to get everything just yet. But one more trip with the iron trades and I should have enough. Chuck these on my enchanted pieces. Oh, okay. Well, I can put it on my chest plate for now. I apparently need to go and get some more iron to make some more anvils, but that's what I was talking about last episode. I'm going to fill this barrel up with spare anvils. Right, so as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, I can put mending on these tools and boots. I still need to enchant my leggings and helmet, which is probably going to take another couple of stops at the XP farm downstairs. So I did exactly that. I spent a little bit more time at the XP farm and traded some more iron with our toolsmiths so that I could go back and get the remaining 2 mending books, enchant my remaining pieces of armor, and finally put mending on those 2 pieces of armor. So now all 3 of my goals are completed for this episode. Which brings us to what has been my most favourite segment of each episode so far, taking a photo of today's build to turn into a painting to bring into the survival world. But first, a quick shout out to my 2 channel members, Sedated You and Dude Mr. Guy. You 2 are the lava that keeps this iron farm running. I do have a sneaking suspicion that this episode's photo is going to be easier than last week's. I also have the thought that I can maybe do this one as a square 1x1 painting instead. Early morning like this actually looks pretty cool. And I think we have a winner here. And so now that I've worked my magic, I can roll for the painting. There we go. Oh yeah, okay, that's sick. That thing looks so cool. I also wasn't completely happy with how these things were looking in the game because I don't know what was going on, but they were like extra pixelated for some reason. So I've gone into the texture pack and replaced the files that were in there with the raw files that I've exported from my image editor, and these things look so much better now. And so with that, I will finish off episode 3. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and a comment, and make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss another video. I'll see you in the next one.